Hello fellow modelers and styling fanatics, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. Concrete Bunker is back with another one of its notorious episodes. On today's episode, me and Past George are working on to the final reveal of our Tiger P build from Italy in 1 to 35th scale and kit number 278, which was built for the heavy guns, heavy armor group build. Now, first of all, I wanna apologize because it took me a long time to upload something. These kinds of builds take time to plan, take time to organize, and of course they take time to build. You do a lot of back and forth, a lot of experimenting if you are in my place and you don't have a clear plan for how to do stuff. Anyway, apart that, it generally takes a long time. I wanna thank some of my friends that gave me advices. You guys know who you are, I'm not gonna reveal. Thank you for your advices and your ideas and stuff on this scene. Now, before I show you what I have done, I want to talk about it a little bit. I am not sure if it is a diorama or a vignette because I'm not sure if it tells a story. There is interaction between two figures. This one is clear interaction because one is standing on top of each other. They are looking the same thing, which I don't know what it is. You decide what it is. So, but it is not clear. It does not tell a clear story. So I'm gonna call it a vignette. This is the last video I record. So if I call it a diorama in between, excuse me, it is a vignette. So I'm gonna call it a vignette. Anyway, round over, scratch that. You guys know the drill. Grab a seat, crack the mandatory cold one, and let's see what me and Past George have done. Well guys, welcome to part 5 of our weird Tiger build or Tiger P build for the heavy guns, heavy armor group build. So, in my previous episode, I left you on a cliffhanger about my plans for the Tiger. As I've said, I wanna create a scene with the Tiger and the elephant together on the field, and after discussing a lot with a group of friends, which most of them are dioramists. Talk about bad influence, yeah, I know. I came up with a plan. We came up with a plan. I wanna copy a fellow friend's work and just differentiate it a bit, just a little bit. Actually, it's not a full copy, it's 90% a copy. Anyway, so my plan goes like this. What you see here is the size of my base. So over here there's gonna be a slope, a turn. These should elevate the thing, you know. I wanna create a hill over here, and from the hill the elephant is gonna go down. It's gonna go like this, almost. Okay, imagine that it is like that. Let's imagine that, okay? But let's do it a little bit further back. So elephant is coming down the hill. Over here we have our commanding tiger, and I wanna also add life to the scene. And what's the better way to add life from adding figures? I have Frankenstein 4 figures from several sets. So over here we have the Tiger Commander. I'm gonna give you a better explanation for when they come, from where they come when I'm gonna paint them. So Tiger Commander, of course, is gonna be in his position, and I have 3 infantrymen. I have this one who is kneeled. He's gonna go over here in the front, like he's scouting, or anyway, like he is looking for something. Right before him, at his back, this guy is gonna be over here. And of course he is not willing to stay, you know, to stand still. Okay. And just to keep the guard in the back, I'm gonna put this guy over here. And of course he doesn't want to stand still. So this is my general plan, and this is how we're gonna roll. We're gonna have these three guys accompanying the tanks. This is going to be the commanding vehicle, and he's gonna give some orders to that guy, and the story goes on, if you can call this thing a story. Anyway, I'm gonna proceed perfecting the base, you know, adding the sides and giving the base the first layer of groundwork, and I'm gonna be back to tell you exactly what I have done and how the whole build is processing. Well guys, it's been quite a few days, or I should say quite a few days have passed since I have recorded the previous stage of this diorama vignette. I don't know yet what it's gonna be, but anyway, of this scenery, that's the way we're gonna call it, because I still don't know if it's gonna be a die or a vignette. It depends. If it's gonna tell a story, it's gonna be a dio. If it's not gonna tell a story and it looks like a picture frozen in time without any significant backstory or anything, it's gonna be a vignette. So scratch apart those things, that doesn't matter for the time being. As I've said, it took me quite some time, but I have managed to do a big portion, quite a big progress on this project. Now, it may not look much, but it is quite enough work done. What I have done, I have framed, of course, my the block of foam that I have used all around. I'm not gonna move the base a lot because it is still in curing process, and apart that, I have bulked the top piece with modeling clay just to give it a basic shape. Then I have primed it. Don't know why, but I primed it just to be safe, on the safe side. And then I have started applying my groundwork. How I applied my groundwork, I have slapped some PVA glue thick everywhere, and then I have used soil from my garden, which is my concoction. Copyright my garden, as Angle says. So this is simple soil. I have took it from my garden, baked it in the oven just to kill anything that lived inside, and then crush it in small in dust as best as I could, and I have thrown this on top of everything. And apart that, Just to differentiate the shade a bit, I have also used coffee. I keep the coffee I drink, the thing that it is left on the cup. If you drink Greek coffee, if you drink, the Jacobs one, I cannot remember the filter coffee, yeah. If you drink the filter coffee, you can keep the grounds, let them dry outside. You can still bake them on the oven, but anyway, let them dry and you have this. So I have mixed coffee and ground from my yard, sprinkled it on top of everywhere, and then I have diluted PVA glue with water and a drop of dishwashing liquid in a spray bottle and sprayed everything on top. That's why you see everything wet right now, because it is in the progress of drying. I have just done that half an hour ago. Apart that, I have added a couple of stones here and there, of course, and I'm gonna paint them because they are black, and normally stones are not black. So until the thing cures, I'm gonna leave them as it is. And apart the stones, I have added a little bit of kitty litter for smaller stones. You can use this stuff for smaller stones. Let me show you. Let me grab my can of kitty litter. Now I know why most modelers have cats, so we can use their litter. Here is my can. You can see that it has plenty of size and shapes of rocks inside, so I sprinkled just some of them, a small amount, mainly in the edges of the road, because this is going to be a hilltop, and rocks tend to gather over here at the edge, at the other edge over here, and mainly in the middle, because vehicles that pass through with trucks and road tend to throw them either on the sides or in the middle. And apart that, I have sprinkled this dried grass, which is a dried sea ball of grass, the stuff that Uncle Nightshift uses. I stole his idea, and I have collected a dried sea ball, as you can see, and I use it to depict dry grass. So dry grass also over here at the edge, here, and mainly over here. Now what I'm gonna do, I am going to wait for my groundwork to dry, and while I'm waiting for it, I am going to decide if I wanna make a big tree or some bushes. I am leaning to make some bushes. Now what's gonna be, we don't know. So guys, before I proceed with the update on my base, I wanna throw a smaller how-to inside, quote-unquote how-to. I'm gonna add some bushes to the base. I'm gonna name them bushes. You can name them little trees or whatever you wish. I'm gonna name them bushes because that's my intention. Now, whatever I'm gonna show you right now, it is not a thing set in stone. It is a technique that I am working on at the time being. It is not perfect. It is far from perfect, to be honest. Anyway, it is one of my experiments. Now I have 3 in front of me. I'm gonna leave only one, get 2 aside, then I'm gonna speak about one of them. As you can see, this thing is like a tree, but in miniature size, like a miniature tree in miniature size anyway. So that's the best. I am trying to find new and cheaper ways to create bushes from the things that I have in hand right now. Of course, I'm gonna grab some other stuff and change the way I do it, but for the time being, I'm gonna proceed with it. What I have done to create the trunk, the main body of the bush. In general, I collect wires of all gauges, because I will maybe need to use them in scale modeling. I collect many random stuff that with the intention to use them. One of them is wires. So this one is from one of the wires I collect. It is a really small in gauge. I don't know. I don't have a clue what the exact number of the wire is, but anyway, stick with me. What I do then, I measure. I am cutting a small piece of a wire, twisting it to give the basic shape of the trunk, and then I'm separating it to give to create branches. I am twisting the branches, and then I'm separating them as well. After that, the next thing I do is to prime it. As you can see, right now is primed. And now my next step is going to paint it with my favorite trio of colors. Of course, they are all from Vallejo. One of them is chocolate brown, the other one is old wood, and the other one is new wood. I'm gonna slap some paint onto them. Then I am going to dip them in PVA glue and sprinkle some grass that I have for train scale. Anyway, let me paint them and sprinkle the grass on top, and I'm gonna show you how exactly they look before I place them to my diorama. Back again, guys. So we have our bushes ready. Here is how they look. I have painted them, slapped some PVA on them, and sprinkled not the stuff that I have told you, another stuff that I'm gonna show you. And that's the result. They look pretty convincing. Not bad, I should say. Not perfect, on the other hand. Anyway, I am curious to hear your thoughts and opinion on them. Feel free to leave it on the comment section below. Now, let me give you a closer look, if I can. Here is how it looks. Okay, up close and personal, as I said, it is not perfect, but it will do the job. Now, what I have used as a foliage for them. My intention was to use this stuff, which is a static grass for train scale, but I skipped this step and go full kamikaze and used this stuff. This stuff, for the Greek guys out there, you can buy it from Jumbo in arts and crafts aisle. My wife bought it for me so I could experiment making trees, because she likes when I make trees. On the other hand, when I fail, she laughs at them. Anyway, she bought it for me and I thought to give it a try. And here is how they look. You have to slap some PVA, as I said, on the branches, sprinkle it, and then spray some PVA on top of the foliage material and sprinkle it some more. As you can see, oops, this one hasn't glued yet, but let's catch another one. As you can see, it is solid as a rock. This one. And this one as well. Okay, we have a few losses, but anyway, we can live with it. Now, let me see where I will position them on my scene, and I'm gonna be back. Well guys, I have done some work on our dio. As you can see, I have added a lot of green stuff. That's how I am going to call all the vegetation added, because of clearly reasons anyway. And I have changed the diorama layout. I have changed the layout from the first part of the video. So the layout this time goes like this. The elephant, as you can see, it goes over this slope, and the tiger is coming around the corner to provide cover. Anyway, it's just coming around the corners just to fill the scene and make it more interesting. Of course, there are going to be some figures, one over here at the back and two over here at the front, to add more life, together with a tank commander that he is resting over there. But that's another topic for another time. As I've said, that's the changes onto the layout. Apart that, I have done some work onto the vegetation. Let me remove the vehicles so you can have a better look. Now, since the last time you have seen it, what I have done, I have added the three bushes that I scratch built. I have created through sheer experimentation, I should say. One over here, the other one over here, and the third one over here, just to break the uniformity of the scene and give it more volume and interest. Then I have sprinkled this little triangle over here, and over here I have used the sprinkled grass that it is mainly used for railroad scenery. That's what they bought me. That's what I'm going to use until it finishes. And apart that, I have added some dry grass tufts here and mainly in the middle of the roads, and some fresh, green grass tufts spotted in various locations around the scenery, just once again to add some realism and interest onto the scene. Although in the beginning I think that was enough, another idea struck me, and I said that I need to add tall grass. I need to make the elephant moving through tall grass. So I wanted to depict that. Since I don't own a static grass applicator, I found another way to do it. It is not ideal, it is not perfect, but it is good enough. And this way, the way I found to depict grass is with the classic use of getting a sacrificial paintbrush like this one. Cut small clumps of it, paint them, and add them onto the scenery with the use of PVA or whatever glue you like to. So there is a problem with that. Mainly the problem is that you can see it has some gaps, which is not so realistic, but it is what it is right now. It is not ideal, it is not as bad. That's what I am saying. I know that I could probably do a better job with a static grass applicator, but I don't have it. I'm gonna do it like this. Anyway, it is a nice practice. So, and now this is the state we are in. Let me add the vehicle once again so you can have a better look. The elephant, of course, is gonna go over here. I have put some grass in different positions, so the elephant, so you can see it getting trampled over by the elephant as it goes over. And that's the spot where we are at the moment. Now, what my next plan is going to be. Ideally, I wanna believe that I am finished with the adding of vegetation. That's the best thing I can do at the time being. With my skills and the stuff that I've got, I am really happy with it. And I wanna keep it as it is. Now, my next step is, of course, to paint the sides of the diorama and start working onto the figures. And finally, add some mud on the tracks of the tiger, just to conform it to the rest of the scenery. And we're gonna call that quits. We're gonna call that ready. Now let me do all this off camera, and I'm gonna be back for you to see what I have done. Third time of recording this part of the video, and this doesn't go well. So, since I have finished my work on the Dio, quote unquote Dio, because I don't know yet if this scene is gonna tell a story, so I can call it a Dio. Anyway, this is a topic for another thing. I'm gonna call it a scene. So, since I have finished my work on the scene, for the time being, because you never know with me, I am unpredictable, I may add some more stuff on it, but for the time being, it is what it is. Let's move on to the figures. Short disclaimer about the figures, guys. When I started building the tiger, I never expected that I am going to create a scene with it. So I didn't bought anything to go with it, and when I say anything, I didn't bought figures or had a particular plan for it. This one came to be later on. And because of that, I didn't have the time to buy just a kit of figures, just a box of figures. To be honest with you guys, I didn't want to buy just a box of figures, because when I buy figures, I buy 3 or 4 boxes for several kits, because it is easier for me. It is better for me to ship 3 or 5 boxes of figures in a bigger box than each one individually. It is cheaper than me, and it is far better. So I don't have any other plans. I don't want to buy any other figures for the time being. So I had to go with what I had in hand. And when I say what I had in hand, I mean what I had in my spares box. After quite some digging, I have managed to find those 4 guys. 3 of them, these 3, come from the same kit, and this one come from a separate one. Now I am going to talk about these 3 because I know exactly where they come from. I cannot remember the name of the kit, but I have the brand and the kit number. These 3 come from a dragon kit, and the dragon kit is 6024. You can Google it. I will Google it before I upload the video and tell you exactly the name of that kit. Anyway, I remember that it has a weird German name, They come from a weird German company of figures. One of them is supposed to hold a flamethrower. if I if I remember correctly, yes, I remember correctly. Flamethrower pipe is over here. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna depict him with the flamethrower because I don't know where the rest of the parts are for the flamethrower. Anyway, this sprue came to my hands from a relative that lives in Germany. He comes over here at summers. He visits me, so he knows that I do scale model kits. He had this one in his shelf, bought it from another guy, and he brought it to me as a present since he was doing nothing with it. So from that particular kit I salvaged those three guys. We have two walking guys and one guy, oops, he's quite active, and one guy kneeling. So for the two walking guys, I'm gonna give them car 98s from a dragon kit. Again, if I remember correctly, I don't know where those car comes, but if I am judging correctly from the detail and the color of the styling, they come from a dragon kit. So these two guys are gonna hold these carbines, and this guy is going to hold an MP40 from a Tamiya kit. I'm gonna salvage this. So I'm gonna leave those three aside. We are going to give them their accessories, the ammo pouches and stuff. We're gonna sand them down, remove the mold lines and stuff like that, because I have just glued them just to watch how they look. And now we are coming to the tank commander, who remains a mystery to me. I cannot remember where I found where this tank commander comes from, and I couldn't find his proper arm. So I salvaged another arm from another guy and the rest of the commander figure. To be honest with you guys, he looks like he comes from a Menk kit. He is crispy detailed, but I am not sure, so I'm not gonna tell anything I'm not gonna set anything in stone for him. So I'm gonna give this guy a headset because he is, after all, a tank commander, and he needs to speak with the elephant. He needs to communicate. So he's gonna have a headset for the gaming nights. For the online gaming nights, he's gonna look like this. Of course, I'm gonna add a wire to the headset, but this is going later on. This is going on later on. This made no sense. Anyway, and I need to find something to give him to hold, because he has his hand open like this, like he's holding something. Anyway, I'm probably going to give him a map or something, and we're gonna see how it goes. So guys, these are my figures. That's how I found them. Well guys, looks like we finally reached the end of our scene, and it's what you see in front of you. What I have done since the last video is to paint these two guys and the guy over here, classic infantryman. I will put close-up photos on top somewhere on the screen, and of course paint the tank commander in a different scheme than the usual black overalls, since he was the tank commander after 43, he had a different type of uniform. And apart that, I have added some mud effects on the tiger and call it done. And nothing else to do at the time being. I am pretty pleased with what I've done. I would definitely change some things, but with what I had in hand, I am, as I said, pretty pleased. So, with all that said and done, it is time for me to wrap this video and this build up. I would like to thank Joachim from Diorama Model Bow and Markus from Scale Model Bench, the two guys that hosted the heavy armor group build. They host every year a different group build, and they always invite me to join it. They are great guys, and they always choose interesting topics. So thank you guys, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the fact that you spend the time to text me and inform me about your plans. I will take part every year if possible, and if not possible, I will try to take part. So thank you guys, I really appreciate it. I really had a great time putting this one together. So that's everything that I have to say for you two. Now, before I go, I wanna thank each and every one of you guys that watched this video. A special thank you to my old and new subscribers. You guys are the best, and you are the reason I keep doing these videos. For the newcomers out there, welcome guys. I hope that you like what I do. If so, you all know what to do. Leave a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video if you believe it deserves to be shared, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. Until the next time, fellow modelers and friends, take care and model on. It was that Mofo Damon, signing out.